You're listening to Homeschool Unrefined. I'm Marin.
And I'm Angela. Let's encourage each other, laugh, and get real about homeschool. Welcome to the podcast where we keep homeschool simple, real, and fun. You've got episode 23, What We Don't Do. Hi, Marin.
Hi, Angela.
How are you?
Good. Are you ready for summer?
I'm getting there.
Have you pulled out your clothes yet for summer?
Kind of. You know, my kids started wearing shorts like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
I pulled out my first pair yesterday. Have you pulled out shorts yet?
I had to because we went to a warm location a couple weeks
ago. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So I had to. I've been thinking about it for months.
Did you buy new clothes?
It's
Do you buy new clothes every summer, or what do you do?
Well, I try not to.
Yeah, right. Okay, yeah.
I try not to, but you never know what's gonna fit. And
I know.
If something doesn't fit, like how can you? I've tried to survive summers where I'm like, I have two shorts that fit me or whatever, and I'm just gonna make do. But yeah, so sometimes I do, sometimes I don't.
Yeah, it's always a little.
How about you?
It's always a little anxiety producing.
It is
dragging out the shorts or the
every
capris because you're like, what if these do not fit like at all?
Should we just not even?
Should I just? I don't know if I want to try these on because what if they don't fit? And then if they do fit, I'm like, oh, phew.
And if you don't try mine, you could just be like, they probably fit. I
haven't tried them on. I don't like them.
I know, yeah. So, yeah, I did get a few pairs of shorts before our trip and some tank tops and
yeah,
very casual this summer. Some summers I'm like, I'm just going to wear summer dresses all summer. And then this summer I'm like, no.
Yeah. We did that like
shorts and tank tops.
We did that the same summer one summer. We bought
I remember
dresses.
that.
That was like 3 summers
We
ago.
do everything together. We do not try this. I'm not kidding you.
Oh my gosh.
But
no.
we do talk to each other a lot.
Yeah, so I think one of us was like, I think I'm gonna buy dresses, and then the other was like, yeah, me too.
Me too.
Where are you getting them? Me too. Okay. And now I look at all those dresses and I'm like, no, I'm not gonna wear them.
No.
I'm gonna stick with the shorts. I pretty much have a uniform: shorts and a t-shirt.
Yeah.
And a cardigan
works.
if it's cold in the morning.
Nice.
That's what I wear in the winter too, except just with jeans. Or my pajama jeans.
I need like a little bit of how I was talking about Mona, my loving this week's was the t-shirt, which I love. My favorite t-shirt. I really do like it, but I would love a couple of varieties of t-shirts, like a different
colors?
style might be. Besides different colors, like even just like a little maybe
longer.
a little flowier.
I know.
For a special occasion or something.
Oh, I know.
Would be nice. So if anybody has any ideas.
I have a favorite t-shirt too.
Oh.
Yeah, I get it from Everlane. And they only have certain colors. So I should check again their website and see if they have more colors. Because they're it's like black, gray, and then every once in a while they have a couple of colors. But
and do you have the V-neck?
Yeah, the V-neck, because I have to wear a V-neck.
You do.
With my body type. But I've often thought that too. Like, it'd be nice to have like something a little longer or a little,
I know,
like flowier or whatever. Just like a little bit different cut. Still the V-neck. I don't know what that would be. I'm not good with fashion, so just give me something to work with.
For me, clothes is kind of. I mean, I really like to show who I am through my clothes, and at the same time, who I am is very. Simple. Like I don't want to think about it too much. Yeah. Because that's just who I am as a person.
Yeah. I'm definitely showing who I am through my clothes. Definitely. Yeah.
I just want it to be easier.
Well, you wear cute headbands. You're wearing one right now. So that's how you can show some personality.
That's true. I have noticed that I haven't even been trying this, but I have noticed that I've been collecting more earrings and necklaces lately.
Oh, yeah. See?
So I think I've been doing maybe more plain clothes and then adding
accessories.
Some bling. From Target.
Good for you. I have one pair of earrings. I tend to wear one pair. Well, I have a few more, but I stick with one pair and I wear them for like months.
Yes.
So I do a different pair.
I do that too often. I have a favorite that I just put on.
It needs to be easy. I don't want to have to make that decision in the morning.
I agree. Yeah. You know what I need though? Okay, so now we're going into another topic.
That's okay.
We're talking about jewelry now, but I need a place to organize my jewelry.
Okay.
Because it's now that I'm collecting some.
You need an earring tree or like
I must need an earring tree. Is that a thing?
I've never had one. I don't know.
Did you just make that up?
I've never had one.
But it's a great idea. You should patent that if nobody has.
Well, I'm picturing like a stand with holes in it, and then you put your earrings in the holes. Is that what you're talking
about? Somebody on Instagram posted about how they just got these really cool jars.
Oh.
And then they hooked their earrings around the
edge of the jar?
lid of the jar. Yeah.
Okay.
So I may need to do something like this. And then something for necklaces too. Because they're all in piles, and I have to untangle them right now.
Oh, okay. See,
in my jewelry bags.
My philosophy is I have like a little teeny, it's a drawer. It's a plastic from Target, probably 15 years ago, little set of drawers. And if it ever becomes too messy or tangled in there, I got to get rid of stuff.
Yeah.
So that's how I know it's time to get rid of stuff, you know.
But even just the pieces I wear normally are just tangled messes right now. So I can't, they just have to be hung up.
Yeah. I am sure if you scoured Pinterest, there are probably ideas aplenty.
Well, here's me, and as maybe it's because I'm an Enneagram 7 or an ENFP.
It's probably one of the two.
I don't like to just buy the thing that's out there.
Oh, yeah.
That everybody else has bought. Like, I'd rather, I was thinking, I kind of want to, like, get a piece of wood and poke some nails in it and then hang that up.
Yeah. That's totally an Enneagram 7 thing.
Yeah, it is. I know. Who knows how this is going to ever happen, but it's a good idea.
It's a great idea. Okay.
All right.
So today we are talking about what we don't do. And I first became aware of this idea when I was reading Shauna Niequist's book, Bittersweet. So I've talked before and last week for sure on the podcast about how much I love Shauna Niequist and her writing. And I read her book, Bittersweet, I don't know, maybe it was like 4 years ago or something, or 5 years ago. And it's just a collection of essays that she writes about. You know, she writes about like relationships and faith and community and food and stuff like that. And anyways, so one whole essay was about what she doesn't do and having, instead of having a to-do list, having like a to-don't list.
Mm-hmm.
And she was saying how this came about for her was she was talking to a friend who was a little bit further down the road from her. And her friend was telling her, and I'm quoting here, "It's not hard to decide what you want your life to be about. What is hard," she said, "is figuring out what you're willing to give up in order to do the things that you really care about."
Mm-hmm.
So that is something that I am always relearning the older I get. And so anyways, in addition to creating like a to-do list, she decided to create lists of things she won't do in order to do the things that she was really passionate about or cared about.
So good.
You have to give up things in order to do the things that you love. So I started thinking about that, like it's okay to say no to things, and it's okay to say, you know what, I don't do that, or I outsource that, or that's not important to me. And and so that is what we're going to talk about today.
Yes. I remember too, listening to, I've listened to several podcasts about how, life hacks for busy moms or whatever. You should do this one trick and it's going to save you. And I love those. I think it always comes out of a heart of, wanting to make other people's lives better and easier and very helpful. Mm-hmm. I think they're trying to be helpful. For me, sometimes that just makes me feel bad or like something's wrong with me because I don't like to do those things. I don't like to even do some of the, I don't know what it is exactly, but I sometimes just feel like I don't want to do that project that even to make my life easier, that may seemingly like make your life easier, might not make my life easier.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah. Well, because everybody's so different.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, we're all so different, and Marn and I are going to talk about, the things we don't do. And you may love to do some of those things that we don't do, and that's great and fine. But I guess we just want to encourage you to make a list of things that you don't do.
Yes. So don't take our list and just do those things. The point here is to encourage you to, make your own list.
Yeah. Or to just think about, like, what things am I willing to give up? And some of these things may be things that you enjoy. And that has been hard for me too sometimes, because some things I do enjoy, but just can't do them right now in this season. And so, it's just good to think about, like, what things are just not on my top priority list right now.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I have another favorite phrase, which I think I've said before here. If it's not a heck yes, it's a no.
Yes. Except you didn't say heck.
No, but I think we can't say that on the podcast. So I say that a lot because if I'm not super excited about something or super into something, then it's probably not the right time for me right now.
Yeah. I think you are so good at this, Angela. You always have been, since I think having kids, especially.
Are you serious?
Because, you've always been so good about this.
Really?
I think it might be just part of your personality too. And I think as a 7, I want to say yes to everything. And I mean, my husband is an Enneagram 1, and he has always been like the opposite. He gets laser focused on one thing, and so he is it's just so good for me because I really it takes like self-discipline for me to not do all the things.
Yeah.
So it's good for me to have you as a good example, Sean. And I mean, just because I see how it benefits your life, and it's so good.
Yeah.
So I'm doing those things too.
Yeah. I mean, not that we're like patting each other on the back, but I have told you, I think for a 7, you are really good at this too. You are.
Yeah. I think in some ways I am. In some ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you do lots of fun things, but also, I don't know, when it's not important, you just say no and you don't care. Like, you just don't feel guilty about that.
Well, here's the thing. I think socially, it's hard for me to say no to some, like, especially things I get passionate about and excited about. I want to say yes to everything.
Yeah.
If it has anything to do with, like, education or music, I just want to say yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I can't even say yes to all the good things right now. I just can't.
Yeah.
So what I'm really good at saying no to is, like, mundane tasks.
Yeah.
Very good at saying no to those things.
You are. Okay. So should we talk about our list?
Let's start.
Okay, so Maren, why don't you start and tell us the first thing that you don't do?
Okay. I do not drive around to stores to get the perfect things.
Okay.
So I think what happened here was, especially when I started my adventures in healthy eating.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Is when I started to realize I could be driving around all of the Twin Cities and picking out like the perfect things at every store. Like I could go to Whole Foods for this. I could go to Mississippi Market for this, and Costco and Target and all these places. Yep. And I could be driving around all day.
Yeah.
And I'd have the perfect ingredients in my house, and I would be miserable.
And you'd have the cheapest ingredients, because sometimes it's about that, like finding the cheapest thing at the certain store. Yeah.
Exactly. I just can't do it. So what I've done is I've decided to pick Costco as my regular.
Yeah.
Because we have 6 people in our family, Costco is what we need.
Yeah.
It makes sense for us. Thankfully, Costco has become very good at supplying us with healthy things.
Yeah.
And the other thing I love about Costco is that they do not, they don't have aisles of like toys, or they don't have these, at the ends of the aisles, they don't have like junk that my kids want to get. Whereas when we go to these other stores, my kids just beg for all this crap.
Yeah.
Because it's on the end of every aisle. So I love Costco because they have all the stuff, almost everything that I need for a week of food, and there's little temptation for me. And the temptation that there is, like, if we want a bag of candy, it is like $15,
and it's huge,
and I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
So it's very easy for me to say no, we're not getting that big bag of candy. gummy worms or whatever. It's not happening. So I love that. And it's been so helpful for me to just do Costco. And then we also remember back in one of our episodes, I decided to start using Amazon Prime Now.
Yep.
So anything during the week that comes up, that pops up, that is not, that I don't have, I really try not to even run to the store to get it.
Wow.
And I think I've saved money. I mean, I've definitely saved time.
Yep.
And I'm sure we've saved money because every time you walk into Target, you spend $50 extra.
Yeah.
On something you don't need, right?
Right.
Or whatever. It's just, you always spend more. So I think I feel so much more peaceful about our shopping.
Good for you.
And just simplifying our shopping. So
the downside of that, though, is that sometimes you're not getting an ingredient that you could want.
Yes.
Or,
and so, yeah. And so sometimes, so this is what happens. My husband actually likes going to Mississippi Market.
Okay, yep.
Because he loves he just loves that. So sometimes if he's in an area where there's a Mississippi Market, I'll have him go there and just pick up a few things.
Yep.
Some of our favorite items from there.
Yep.
Or Whole Foods or whatever. And sometimes even on dates we go there because I don't know. It's very low key and less stress when there are no kids around and it's a Saturday night at 7 p.m.
Yeah.
So sometimes we do that periodically.
Yeah.
And so we get the things we want. We just kind of stock up on them.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, great. I love that one. I'm not as good as you at that, but I'm getting there.
Yeah, but you have found ways to order a lot of healthy things online too.
Yeah. The online ordering has definitely helped with all of the driving around. But I thought you were going to say, when you said you don't drive around for stuff, I didn't know you were going to talk about groceries. I thought you were going to talk about like clothes or like finding a shirt or finding a costume or finding a new journal or I don't know, whatever.
Oh, that is so true. That goes in the same, definitely goes in the same category. I do not drive around. I mean, when I drive around and try and find clothes for myself, I just get in a ball of fire. I get it's like I am not happy. I'm just not a happy person, so I just don't do it. Yeah. I'm happy to shop online for a little while with no crowds and whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I think too, like some people love to shop and love to get out and, feel that energy of other people in the store and, think that's like a fun activity. I guess you and I have just never been shoppers.
No, we have not. We definitely have not. Okay, how about you? What don't you do, Angela?
Okay, the first thing I don't do is any record keeping for like homeschool. And then in general. So, we're lucky to live in a state where we don't have to do any record keeping for homeschool. We have to take our state yearly test, and that's it. So that is the one record that I keep. Yeah. But also, I'm just not into. I would love to have memories preserved, I guess, but I'm not into doing the work.
It's true. That is
not
so
into
true.
It. So it's just not worth it for me to do it. So I sometimes save papers. I guess now that I think about it, I really haven't saved any papers this year because I don't think we have any papers. But so like if there's a special something, I'll save it. But I'm not like creating a 3-ring binder of like what we did for history this year and everybody's projects and all that.
Okay, I think this is so good for people to hear. Okay, because I think this is a very intimidating part of homeschool. That I think a lot of people just don't even homeschool because they think they have to do all this work like a teacher, like a public school teacher. Yep. And that is not the case.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I feel guilty about it sometimes because I'll be like, if somebody asked me, what did this kid do in 5th grade math? I'd be like, well, I don't remember, Well,
yeah, that's okay.
So I do feel guilty, kind of. I sometimes feel guilty because I think, am I going to want that when they're older? Am I going to want to look back on some projects? I guess I might, maybe. I mean, like I said, it would be nice, but I do not want to take the time to do that. And so I just don't.
And I have to tell you, like when I think back to when I was getting trained as a teacher in undergrad, I remember it's so important. I mean, they were teaching us what the public school system was doing, which is you have got to record everything.
Yeah.
And everything has to be like able to be tested. Like you have to measure everything.
Yeah.
You have to be able to measure what they've learned all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to tell you, that is not good for kids. It's not good for them to like have all this record keeping for them.
Yeah.
It's so much pressure.
Yeah.
It's too much for a child to have on themselves.
Yeah.
So when you're learning, they need to be learning for the sake of learning. And if you are focusing so much on keeping track of how well they're doing all the time, it like all goes out the window.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So just enjoy it.
Okay. Thanks. I will. Yeah. I also don't do any record keeping with like baby books. I really want to. I really would love I have my kids each have a baby book. Yeah. It's in a box.
Yeah.
It has moved with us 3 times. And my first child's got some stuff in there. But after that, I don't. And I have great intentions, and I should just throw them away. But I had a baby book. My mom did a baby book for me, and I look at it a lot.
Yeah, I know.
I'm glad she did that. And so I do want that for my kids, and maybe that's the S in me coming out, the censor. I do want that, but I just, the thought of taking that out is just, I know, I should do it online.
Well, the thing is, we have digital pictures. Yeah. And they didn't. And so you have kind of documented their whole life.
In photos on the computer?
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and you can someday make those into books. You have time, though.
I could make those into books, but I've forgotten, like, all their cute things they did at 3 months or 6 months or whatever. Oh, yeah. You know, I didn't ever take the time to write that stuff down. I feel kind of bad about that. But, and I'm that mom who's like, which kid was that who used to, whatever, and I don't remember.
The other day, my youngest 6-year-old, Josie, said, Mom, what was my first word? And I was like, oh, gosh. I don't know. I mean, I didn't say that in my head. I was thinking, I have no idea.
Mama.
I was thinking, I said, probably Mama. Okay, she was so satisfied.
Okay, I do remember my kids' first words. So I feel good about that. That's
good job.
The one thing I remember.
Better than I am.
Okay, what's your next thing, Maren?
This is going to sound terrible.
Okay.
I'm rethinking this whole show now. I do not make breakfast or lunch for my kids.
Okay. That's a good one.
I provide food for my kids.
Yes.
And I let them make their own food.
Wow.
So for breakfast, I often, for myself, make veggies. I saute veggies.
Yep.
Often with meat or with eggs or whatever. And I've always offered that to my children. It's just not what they want in the mornings. So maybe someday they will take me up on my offer.
Yep.
Because, well, I mean, I guess technically I do make breakfast for everyone.
You
just
do.
Nobody eats it.
Yeah.
So I eat that myself. Shauna and I eat that. And then my kids just make toast or have cereal or whatever.
Yep.
So, and then for lunch, the same thing. My kids have their favorite thing that they all like to eat. If I told my kids we're all having the same thing for lunch every day, they would, I mean, it was becoming a struggle. So I just stopped. And I was like, if you want to make something other than what I have planned, you can just make it. And so they've all just started making their own food.
Wow. That is great. That builds such independence. You are giving them such a gift.
Thank you.
You are, because they could
make
make dinner too if they had to. I mean,
it's true.
Yeah. So they're totally independent when it comes to food.
Yeah. Thank you. Hey.
That's so great. I am not there yet. That's so great.
Well, and then to go along with all this food stuff, I often very rarely plan dinner either. Oh. Like, I do not make weekly plans. I used to do that.
Yep.
But that's just not my favorite. And that's one of those things where I'm sure I've read it on blogs and listened to it on podcasts. This is a great homemaker hack. Make a meal plan.
Yeah.
And I've tried so many times to make that work for me, and it's just not me. It's just not who I am.
Yep.
So I get all of my favorite ingredients every week. You know, I get all my staples, And then sometimes if I have an idea for a meal, I'll get those ingredients too. But for the most part, I just use what I have in my house.
That is a skill. I feel like we could do a whole show on that. Like, how do you do that? I want to ask you all the details right now, but it's okay. Sure. It would be too long. But I just think that is a skill that most people don't have that skill.
Well, here it goes back to being very simple. We have simple meals. Yeah. It usually entails meat and veggies.
Yeah.
And maybe some rice. I don't know.
Yeah.
If I'm feeling crazy. Oh, and then the other thing is I have outsourced making meals to, sometimes we go through seasons where, like right now, we're getting HelloFresh meals. So we get two of those a week.
Yeah.
And it is so nice.
Yeah.
It's so nice. And my kids get super excited about making those too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. That's great. I am not there yet.
Basically, I'm making no food.
That is great. I am really happy for you. I feel like I need to let go of control a little bit, because at lunchtime, I feel like that's when I can like make them a plate with, I call it a toddler plate, but like I could just put like a little veggie here and a veggie here and a fruit and a veggie and then like three different kinds of leftovers that I'm trying to use up in little portions.
Yes.
And then I hand them the plate and I'm like, yes, I just got rid of all those leftovers and I forced them to eat all those veggies, and they did it.
See, that is so great too. I am jealous of that. And if I had the strength to withstand the complaining of that, I would do that. I would. Because that's a better option, I think. That's better. It's good.
Well, my kids are kind of evolving, and they're starting to make their own things. My son would make a sandwich 3 times a day if he could, with like a cheese slice that's like a half an inch thick. Yeah. I had to buy a cheese slicer.
It's not a bad way to live.
I know.
You had to buy a cheese slicer, so it would be
fitter. Because he's like, I don't know how to do this. It's like the big block of Kerrygold. You know, I mean, I understand. It's good.
I know.
It's delicious.
It's really good.
Anyway, my kids do try. I mean, they get excited if I say you can make your own lunch. They get really excited. But I feel like I need that control of, no, they need veggies.
Well, here's the thing. Yeah. I think it might have been Shauna Niequist, too, who said, confession, I don't make my kids eat veggies at every meal. And I was like, thank you. I don't either. And that's because I have veggies out all day. Like, I just chop veggies and put them out on the table, and they get eaten up.
Wow.
So that's where I feel like the pressure for dinner for me is like, or mealtime.
Yep.
I can just not worry too much about it. Although, I mean, they probably should get, I mean, we do eat veggies.
Yeah.
Let me just tell you, at meals, we do eat veggies. But just when I don't feel like forcing the veggies on them, I don't feel pressure to do that. Yep. I just don't.
Yep.
Because they eat them all day.
Yep.
So.
Great.
Okay. How about you, Angela? What else do you do?
I don't do any crafting or big homeschool projects or big projects, like fun projects. No dioramas. So no posters. No homemade books.
Yeah.
I feel bad about that.
That is so great. Why do you feel bad about that?
Because, now this is where I can start to compare. But, you know, everybody's doing cool stuff and putting it on the internet. And I'm seeing it and I'm thinking, like some of it is really good quality and memorable and like a good learning experience. I just don't have the energy to do it. It's not my favorite thing. And so I don't do it. And I feel bad because I think my kids would like it. So, yeah.
Well, also maybe there's something in you that knows that the real learning happens outside of those projects anyway.
Well, yeah, I'm a questioner.
Yes.
So I always question, like, is all this time and energy I'm putting into this project really going to make a difference?
Yeah.
You know? But I think there are some that would. I think there are some projects that would be good.
There are.
You know? But I've kind of scratched. I haven't made a decision that I'm not doing any projects, but I kind of just operate in that mode. And if there was a cool project that came along that I was really interested in, I would do it. But it's not me. And so I'm trying to just embrace who I am and be okay with that for homeschooling. Good
for you. And I think the best thing for your kids is to just do what's best. Do what is authentically you.
Right.
So if you're going to try and do projects all day and you hate projects, that's going to be a miserable homeschool for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's better that you're doing what you love to do, and they love to do it too. And
Right. I mean, like I said, they would like some projects. When they heard about all the things you're doing for traveling, when we talked about our travel episode, they were genuinely jealous. Like, why aren't we doing those fun things? And
you know what though?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I feel like those projects sounded more amazing than they really were. You know, when they actually happen in real life, it gets messy and cut out, and
yeah,
you know.
Yeah, but you're trying. I don't know. I feel like you like projects more, and that's what you would rather do than the same old boring schedule. And I feel like I need to do that same old boring schedule. I feel anxiety if we don't do the schedule. Like, we're not getting to the regular things. And so then the projects and fun stuff get sometimes cut out. And so, whatever. I'm just trying to embrace it. Yeah.
Embrace it. Embrace it.
Yeah.
Definitely. Well, I should move down to, I'm going to skip to one of mine that relates to that.
Sure. Go ahead.
I don't do a lot of schoolwork. And I'm talking about, we do a lot of projects.
Yeah.
We do a lot of projects.
Yeah.
You know, we do a lot of, I would say, you know, science projects. You know, we group caterpillars and those kind of things.
Yeah. I know. Really fun stuff.
We build stuff. We create stuff. We do not sit at a table and do a lot of like traditional schoolwork.
Yeah.
And I'm in angst about that. I feel terrible about it so often, but I also can't bring myself to do it. Probably just how you feel about the school projects,
Yeah.
Where you're like, I should be doing this. It's the right thing to do, and I just can't.
Yeah.
So, I mean, let me tell you, I am not denying my kids' education. I am not. We do work, but it's just not, like, it would not be an exemplary model.
I think it could be. I just think it's not probably what people think about first. You know, it's not school at home. You're not doing school at home.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That is so true. And when people ask me, oh, are you ready for the end of school to be done? You know, homeschool.
Yeah.
I am just like, if you knew how little we already do. I'm not looking forward to the end of school because it's not going to be that different for us.
Yeah.
Because we're not doing a whole lot right now. We are doing some. We're doing some work.
Yeah.
Just not a ton. Not a ton of traditional work.
It doesn't look like sitting at a table and doing a workbook or...
Yeah, a lot of that has to do with me as for my personality, and a lot of it does have to do with my kids.
Yeah.
And I just know, I know them. I know what already. I just know it's what they need.
Yeah,
so,
good for you. I think knowing yourself and your kids is, like half the battle. So
right.
That's good.
It's so true. So true.
Okay, my next one is I don't do any gardening. Or growing anything, really.
Yeah.
This is another one I can feel guilty about. So I love good quality food. I love knowing where my food comes from. I love the idea of teaching my kids how to garden.
Yes.
I love being outside. I like doing, things outside. So I thought that having a garden would be a great fit for me and the kids.
Right.
And I tried it, and it was a major flop. Maybe when my husband comes on the show later, we can talk about this, because he was so frustrated with me because I made him like build a fence because we have deer, So I made him build a fence that was high enough, and we had my brother-in-law come over and help us start it, and it was a big project. And then I was like, oh, wait, I don't like this.
So what specifically was it that you did not like about it?
I think it's for me, knowing that I have to do it, that it's out there calling to me, I need to go weed or plant or pick whatever it is. I better get out there. My garden's calling.
There's always something.
I do not like that feeling. And I didn't have success growing anything for 2 years. Nothing grew. So I think that like contributed.
I bet.
Nothing grew.
That makes
Or
sense.
like knowing like, should I be watering more? Should I not water at all? Like what? I don't know. It's like, I know it's an art and I know it's hard work and I'm just not, it's not where I want to spend. It's a lot of work and it's not where I want to work hard. So I decided
Yes.
I would rather pay somebody who knows what they're doing, who's really good at it, to like grow me my veggies. And I feel guilty about that for my kids because they're not.
Yeah.
See, it would be such a great homeschool project. I'm sure lots of you out
I
there
mean,
do this for your
yeah.
homeschool. Good for you. It is such a great project, and I wish I could do it, but it's not me.
Like if somebody did that well, that could be their homeschool.
Could be the whole thing.
That could be it.
Yeah.
You're done.
Yeah.
Just grow a garden.
Yeah.
I know.
But also my mom's a really good gardener, and so like I feel good like when we go to visit there, you know, the kids can have a taste of it. Have a little taste.
Yep. Definitely.
It'd be something special.
Yeah.
That they see there. So I feel okay about it.
Yep. And it's good to show that you're supporting other farmers.
Yep.
Right? I mean, because you're part of a CSA,
yeah,
right?
Yep. And we go visit the farm. And so they see it all. I think like my personality is I want to be the best parent. And in my mind, like having your own garden is one thing that like the best parent would do. And I don't do that. And I just have to be okay with that. We're not doing that.
Yep.
So, yes. And that like translates to like houseplants. I just can't keep a houseplant alive and I'm tempted. I've gotten rid of all of our houseplants. And I've like attributed to the fact that we have no light coming in or like we don't have good light. There's like no good place to set it or whatever, like that must be the problem. And we're moving, and so like I'm tempted to be like, ooh, I could get a couple plants, but I probably should talk myself out of that because it's not going to go well.
I remember when our kids were very little, like toddler age,
Yeah.
and we couldn't have plants in the house at all, or otherwise they would just get pulled over all day. So we got rid of all our plants, and my husband was like, don't you miss plants? I mean, it's like I just really miss having those around. And I was like, no, this is like a vacation for me. I don't have to
water them.
Try and keep these plants alive because I am the worst. I'm the worst.
You don't have to sweep around them.
Yeah.
You don't have to wipe whatever you do with plants.
I know. I do love plants. That's a responsibility I can't be held accountable for right now.
Right. Much.
It is too much. I have 4 children.
Oh gosh.
Keep alive right now.
Okay. What's your next one, Lauren?
All right. I do not Gosh, this is sounding worse and worse.
It's okay.
I do not bathe my children.
Oh wow. That is bad.
I know. So let me define that. My children do get clean. It's just I make them do it themselves now. When they were younger and I had to bathe them, their baths were few and far between. So because it's not my favorite thing to do. I don't like washing kids' hair.
Oh yeah.
It's not my favorite.
Yep.
There's so much whining and complaining and
yeah.
I just don't like it. My kids did take like just fun baths just to play.
Oh yeah.
In the water, but like to actually get clean, that very rarely happened.
What's
now
the
that
difference?
they're old enough.
A fun bath? Don't they get the clean in the fun bath?
Well, they don't get their hair washed.
Oh, well.
They get no soap whatsoever, just water.
That's fine.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
See, this is why we do this podcast. Let's make each other feel so much better.
I stopped using soap on my kids, like, very much. Unless they're really dirty. So, it's fine.
Yeah. Oh, thanks. I feel so much better. Okay. But right now my kids can, like, turn on the faucet, get it the right temperature, you plug the hole, get in there, wash their own hair. They do it all.
Wow.
All of it. Yeah. So now it's like, I think it's time for a bath. Everybody, I think everybody's getting a bath tonight or a shower or whatever, because they can all take care of themselves and do it. And it's like a good task for them to work on right now to get good at that. And so now they're doing that on their own. Yeah. I'm still not bathing my children.
Yeah. Good for you.
Great. It's so great.
Some people really love that though. It's like some people are into that. I think Jeremy's one of those.
True.
He was into that, especially when they were younger. Yeah.
Shauna and I would just try and pawn it off on each other. Can you do this? I guess so. You know. Just...
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
How about you? What don't you do?
Well, I've talked about this before, but this is a big one. I do not do any kids' laundry. And I don't have laundry problems. Lots of people complain about their amounts of laundry, and I don't have laundry problems because I don't do their laundry. So,
that is amazing.
They just do it. If they don't have any clothes, they gotta do their laundry. You know, and I mean they just do it on their own. And I don't care if they will stuff the thing as full as possible. Or I think there can't be much water getting in there.
Oh, it gets down. I mean, it shrinks down when the water gets in. Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely like the size of what I would put like 2 loads, you know, in one.
Yeah.
And I don't care. I just don't care. And my son's the opposite. Wow. He put it on his list to wash every other day. So he washes like 4 things at once. But I don't care. That works for him. Yes. He's finding a system that works. Great. Mm-hmm. And so I love that. I don't do it. I won't do it.
That is so exciting to me. I'm compelled. My oldest does her own laundry now.
Yep.
Since we talked about this the last time.
Yep.
I was telling her about it, and she was like, "Ooh, I want to do that." So she started.
Yep.
And now
You're working on the other ones.
I'm sold.
Okay. Well, and she's down there in the basement with the laundry anyway.
Yeah, I know.
Really easy.
Oh, yeah.
So easy.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yep. That is so, I am just so inspired by that.
Well, I think kids, I just remember my own experience. And I didn't do laundry. I did not do laundry until I was for sure a teenager. Because, my mom wasn't washing my jeans fast enough, you know?
Yeah.
And so finally one day I was just like, can I do it on my own? And she's like, yeah. And then I just felt such independence.
Yeah.
Like I could have my clothes whenever I wanted them clean. And and I loved it. So I don't know.
Yes.
So I feel
it is a feeling of independence.
Yeah.
It definitely is.
Yeah.
And all these things are bathing yourself.
Yeah, right. Good. All right.
So good.
What is your next one, Maren?
All right. So one thing I do, this is another hack that kind of bothers me sometimes, is that I think a lot of homemakers, especially expert homemakers, are really into making sure your kitchen is like super clean before you go to bed. My kitchen is not, I do not make sure my kitchen is clean before I go to bed.
Okay.
And this might be because I'm a P on the Enneagram or on the Myers-Briggs. So getting things taken care of ahead of time is not always super important to me.
Yeah.
And so I just have had to let that go because I've always thought that is my standard for being a mother.
Yeah. Having a clean kitchen.
Yes, having a clean kitchen. So, and I don't do that, and I'll just clarify because I don't really wash dishes very much. I don't like to wash dishes. And so
how is your house staying running? Wow, your kids are doing it all.
No. My kids aren't washing dishes very much either. We just fill the dishwasher up. And when the dishwasher is full, we turn it on. And then it takes 2 hours.
Yeah.
So if our dishwasher is full after dinner and we've turned it on and it's starting, we sometimes will have more dishes that are just going to be sitting there.
Yeah.
And I've decided, I'm sure my mom would not let that happen. My mom would never let that happen. She would just wash those dishes.
Yeah.
And get them out of the way.
Yeah.
Because that's not a clean kitchen. So for me, it's my priority to rest and relax after dinner.
Yeah.
Or go exercise or do something that I need. So I am not going to wash more dishes after dinner. Yeah. After we've cleaned up after dinner. So if the dishwasher is full and it's running, I am leaving those dishes.
Good for you.
Until the next day.
I'm impressed. So then when you wake up in the morning, do you feel anxiety walking into your kitchen and seeing a mess?
I mean, I'd prefer to have a nice clean kitchen, but I also think that helped me have a relaxing evening.
Yeah.
So I'm fine with it. And it doesn't take long because our morning chores include cleaning out the dishwasher. So I have 2 kids who clean out the dishwasher.
Yeah.
and right away in the morning. And so I can just quickly put those in. It goes very quickly.
Wow.
So
that's great. I cannot do that. Because I feel anxiety. I feel such anxiety with a messy kitchen. And I feel like it takes me forever. Because then when you have dishes build up, then more build up and more build up. Like, I don't know, somebody will get a snack and then that's out and then whatever. And then the counter's messy. And if I don't get to it, then I just feel anxiety all day.
Well, I have anxiety when we have a messy kitchen, after a meal. Yeah. And it hasn't been cleaned up yet. And then my kids are like, can I make cookies? Or can I make a smoothie? And I'm like, no, then absolutely nothing happens in this kitchen until it is clean. Yeah. And that might be clean until the dishwasher's full. And then we might still have a pile of dishes still. Yeah. Or whatever. And that's fine. I'm just fine with the pile.
Yeah. Good for you.
That everything is cleaned up except this pile. But here's what happened. Like when my kids were toddlers when we had baby, like newborn twins, our kitchen was a mess. Yeah. And I remember thinking, I am so exhausted right now. I can hardly stand up. Mm-hmm. And in my mind, I needed a clean, because the standard in my head was to have a clean kitchen. I'm like in the kitchen doing these dishes and I'm thinking, what am I doing? Yeah. I need sleep. I need sleep more than this. Yeah. Yeah. And that's when we just decided it's okay to have a messy kitchen sometimes.
That is so great. That's what kind of I don't know. I think it takes a while to grow up and realize you don't have to do things the way either your mom did or everybody else is doing it or like society tells you. And so if you find a way that works, I think that's great.
Yeah. Anyway.
Good for you.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay.
What else don't you do?
Okay. So I just made this decision. It took me a long time to figure this out, but we are not doing date nights out anymore.
Oh my goodness.
This is another thing that everyone tells you. Like for a good marriage, you need to have date nights. You need to do this. Mm-hmm. And because I'm an introvert, I just struggled because you'd get the babysitter and then you'd go out to dinner and then you'd want to come home, but you still have a babysitter. And you're like, oh, I guess we could, I don't know. You're just trying to find things. We could go get some stuff at the grocery store. Or we could, I don't know. I would always prefer to be at home. But what's hard is your kids are at home. And so you kind of need a break with your spouse away from your kids. So it's really hard. But I just made the decision. Like, it's been a long time coming. So we've been slowly kind of converting to this. But I would rather just shut our bedroom door and get takeout. Wow. I know. Oh, okay. You always laugh at this, that we just shut our bedroom door. Nobody can come in. and then get takeout and watch a show.
We're having special alone time. Yep.
That's what we do. Mm-hmm. And we so we started doing this when our 12-year-old was a little bit younger, and she would kind of watch the kids out there. Yep. They would have dinner, they would put in a movie or whatever, and then we would have alone time. But now I feel like it's just much easier for us to do that. So we're going to do that more now. Have a date night in. Because
that's so great.
I don't have time to figure out what restaurant we're going to and make a reservation, or you get there and it's busy and you have to wait. I don't know. I think because I'm an introvert, that is just not my thing. I'd rather be home.
It is a lot of extroverting.
It's a lot of
Even just getting the babysitter is
a lot of work.
It is. It is.
Yeah, and it's expensive. And then look at that. You don't have to pay for a babysitter. So you can just stay home.
Good for you. Good for you that you figured out what works for you. And Jeremy likes that too?
He does.
All right. I think it's time to wrap up.
All right. Yeah.
Those were really good.
Yeah. It was fun to talk about.
It was very fun to talk about. So if you have something that you don't do and you want to share it with the group, you should go to Facebook and join our closed group. Yes. Unrefined homeschoolers. Yep. And we can talk about what we don't do.
Yeah, I would love to hear your ideas. So the point is, again, not to not do what we don't do.
Exactly.
But to make your own list and make sure you have things, because you can only do so much. And you want to save your energy for the things you are enjoying.
Absolutely. Yeah. And everybody will be better for it. Your whole family.
Yep.
For sure. So, all right. Should we move on to loving this week?
Yes. Let's do that.
LTW. All right, Angela, what are you loving?
Okay, so I have a book by my favorite author.
Yes.
Okay, so Anne Lamott. I have talked about her before.
Yes.
She writes nonfiction kind of essays, sort of like Shauna Niequist, but they're about like faith and people and just culture and stuff like that. And so
Yeah.
she is a beautiful writer. If you've never read anything by her, it would be very easy to pick up. And like I said, they're little essays, so you can just read one or whatever. They're just really good. So she has a new book out called Hallelujah Anyway.
Yes, I saw that.
Did you? Okay, it is so good. I am loving it. I read it before bed.
Good.
And just about like, I don't know, like I said, they're all about different things, but just about
her own experiences,
her own experiences.
Stories?
Like she will tell stories about herself or about people. Okay. And it's really hard to describe her writing, so I'm not going to try because I'm not good with that. But just trust me, it's really good.
Okay.
And I'm excited because she has she probably has, I'm just going to guess, 15 books that have come out. She does one every couple years. And so I get excited when there's a new one. If you've never read her, you could start with this one, or you could start with Traveling Mercies. That's my favorite of hers. Yeah.
I think I read part of that one because you had me read it.
I did.
When we were on a trip once.
Yeah.
Like, just read this chapter.
Yeah.
And it was so good.
Yeah.
I should have read the whole thing.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So how about you? What are you loving this week?
Okay. I'm loving a few new Instagram follows.
All right. We love those. I go and follow your follows right away.
Good.
Yeah.
These are some great ones.
Okay.
So, and they're very different from each other.
Okay.
So, first of all, I'm loving following the National Geographic Instagrams.
Oh.
Instagrams. So they have a couple. They have it's called Nat Geo.
Yeah.
NATGEO.
Yep.
And then they also have Nat Geo Travel.
Oh.
Which I am loving. So they're both, videos and pictures from around the world.
Okay.
Of great nature things, but also the Nat Geo Travel.
Mm-hmm.
I just realized this week I was loving it. They had these Instagram stories of this guy just riding on the longest train ride. I think the longest train like in the world. And I think it was like through India or something. And it was just so fascinating. He just went and talked to people on the train, on this huge train. I mean, it was just, I don't know, it was just fascinating listening to people from across the world.
Yeah.
Like that they were just on this train today. And I love it. I can't go to India today, but that was just so cool.
Yeah.
Just so amazing.
That sounds
cool. Just to hear from people. Yeah, it was so cool. And then they showed a video of travelers in, I want to say the Antarctic. I mean, just like everywhere. Places you would not even think of. I mean, and they're just so diverse. Yeah. Just the diverse pictures. It's just amazing.
Great.
Gets me very excited. It kind of scratches my travel itch when I can't travel.
Yeah.
So, and then to be completely opposite of that, I am following, I told you about this week, an actress. Her name is Retta, and she was on Parks and Rec.
Yep.
And she was not one of the biggest stars, but I just started following some of the people from Parks and Rec. Anyway, she has started doing Instagram stories, and they're just hilarious. It's just complete entertainment. And it's really just her everyday, just very mundane stuff, but she makes it so funny. Yeah. She's just a funny person. Yeah. And I just love her.
Yeah, you told me about her, and I followed her, and then I watched her make coffee, and I was like, that is good. I don't know why it's good. It's like in a dark room. You could barely see it.
I know. But she sings along, and she's commenting on it, and she just has a personality that is so entertaining. I just love it.
I don't know what it is about Instagram stories, but I'm really getting into it, and I'm watching them. I'm really getting into watching people who are good at doing it.
Me too.
Yeah.
Maybe we should do that more.
I know. Trying. It's an art.
It's true.
Okay, so if you would like to follow us on Instagram, you can do that. We are at Homeschool Unrefined on Instagram for our podcast account, and then we also have personal accounts you could follow. And we are at Unrefined Angela and Unrefined Maren.
Yep. So
you could follow us there if you wanted. We're also on Facebook at Homeschool Unrefined. You could follow us there. And you could also join our Facebook group that we talked about. You just go into Facebook and you type in Unrefined Homeschoolers, and then you can click and we will add you. And we also have a website, Homeschool Unrefined. You could find us there, and you can find all of our show notes there, or our show notes for this episode and all episodes will be in your podcast app too.
And I was just going to say, if you have a friend who homeschools or who just you think would enjoy our podcast because they're parents or whatever, you could always just share our website because all of our podcasts are on there.
Yep.
If they're not podcast users, it's really hard sometimes. I mean, there are so many non-podcast listeners, non-podcast users. So if you just want to give them our website, that's great. But otherwise, teach them how to use our podcast.
Sometimes I just ask somebody to see their phone and I just show them where it is. And then a lot of times people don't even know how to do it. So if you can just show them, that would be great.
Yeah. It's so helpful.
Yeah. So thanks everybody for listening, and we will see you next week.
Thanks for listening. You can connect with us and find show notes at homeschoolunrefined.com. Also, thanks to Gambler's Daughter for providing the music for our show. You can find out more at gamblersdaughter.com.